Hello and welcome to Rolling with Reviews and more. I'm Will, and with me as always is the person who says, well, stop, that's just pot spelled backwards.
Sarah.
And we're doing a review of Can't Stop, as well as the little known expansion for it, for the Eagle Gryphon version anyway, Rolling Down the Highway. Sarah, tell us a bit about this game.
All right. Can't Stop is a classic Sid Saxon game where players must press their luck with dice and work with probability to close out 3 columns. The board has 1 column for each possible total of 2 6-sided dice, but the number of spaces in each column varies. The more probable a total, the more spaces in that column, and therefore the more rolls it takes to complete. All right, Will, so why did we get this?
We had played this game at one of our local game stores.
Really early on in our game playing.
And thought it'd be great for the collection. So when there was a Kickstarter for Can't Stop Express, which is a roll and write, different game, from Eagle Gryphon, they also offered Can't Stop as well as the expansion that they had for it.
So we got everything all in one go in one bundle.
Yeah, and now we can't find our Can't Stop Express.
I don't know. I took it to work, but I was pretty sure I brought it back, and I have no idea where it is now.
Yeah.
But we have this still, because you can't lose this very easily.
You can't travel with it. All right.
Okay, so what do we like about the game? It's simple to teach and learn.
Yes, this is definitely one of those first games like, well, have you played board games? And they say no, like, well, let me show you Can't Stop.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great gateway introductory game, plus it's a great filler if you just don't want to think too hard, you want to pass some time. I mean, it's not incredibly short because the playing time can vary.
Yeah.
But it's still just a great game for those in between other things.
Yes, and it's still a great game you can socialize.
Yeah.
Over.
You can still chit chat while you're rolling dice and moving cones up columns.
Yes. We also love the production of this version. The hard plastic with the indented things make it very easy to feel the spaces and move along.
And I
have to say, the dice, those are dense dice.
Yeah, there's some of the better high quality, basic, but higher quality basic dice. I've not seen anything quite like that in a while.
Yes, it feels like money was really thrown at this game, despite how simple it is.
Yep, and I just love the cones. Those are just so much fun, and they sold more colors, so we ended up buying a couple more colors, not all of them, because you still can only play the game with 4, and our physical copy mostly just gets played by us lately, so we definitely don't need all the colors in the world, but it is nice to have that variety.
Yes. Then we also kind of like the expansion that this for its wild wackiness.
Yeah, it is bonkers. It is 100% adds craziness. You can be moving up a column. It will tell you to move up. It'll tell you to move down. It'll make you go left or right. It could do hazards. You could take a token that is a number, and next time you roll, or anytime you roll in the future, you could spend that token to change one of the dice to that number. I mean, there's even a map.
Yeah, that gives you an extra cone for your next turn.
For the white cones.
Yes, for the white cones.
It gives you an extra white cone, so you can go up 4 columns on your turn. So it's interesting because it is a mix of wacky craziness, but some new
mitigation.
Manipulation, mitigation, control. Granted, it's still all really random. You can have a game last longer. You can have a game last a lot shorter. I mean, we've had columns that have just completely locked out because it got a turn around, run around, going down thing. And we've also got ones where you're going up a column and all of a sudden you move left and up and you won a column.
I did that.
You will did that.
The 4-3 switch.
Yeah, it's the 4-3 switcheroo. So we like that aspect. We will talk about it again in the part we don't like about the game. But for now, that's the aspect we like. I also want to point out, it is on Board Game Arena, although a premium game. So you have to have somebody
with a subscription.
Right. You don't have to start it, but if someone with a premium subscription starts the game, you can join it. On Yucata, it is for free. You just have to create an account. So it is available to try, and we play it a lot with our iGame Night friends we have for years.
Yeah.
So it's in the regular rotation of games that we play.
Yes.
What do we not like about the game?
I tell you, this expansion.
It's too crazy. I just can't handle it. It takes too long to set up. What? Will, you're going to have to set it up because I want to play it, but I do not want to deal with putting all those little pieces on every little space on that board.
Yes. The pictures on the tiles don't necessarily tell you what anything really means.
I always have to keep the expansion rulebook open because here's the thing. We like it, but not enough to play with it frequently because it changes the game so much. It's nice to spice it in every now and then, but that means we never really learn how any of these things work. So we always have to have the rules nearby to look it up. And I've heard from a lot of people that it is a mixed bag. It's just such a hit or miss expansion. Some people like it. Some people absolutely hate it. But then again, they Can't Stop for what it is. And this expansion completely flips it.
Right.
And then everyone else doesn't even know the expansion exists.
Yes.
So
there you go.
And I also will say, because I don't know how available it still is, I guess that's another aspect that I don't like about the expansion is if you're going to do an expansion, make it a bit more available and publicize it. But I guess the fact that it comes in a Ziploc bag
with instructions and tiles.
Yeah, with a punch-out sheet and instructions, it's also not a high production quality, I guess, or run. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't even remember if they were... I think they were already all punched out.
No, they came in a sheet.
You sure?
Yeah, it pretty sure. You know what? I think so because I saw pictures
of them in a sheet
on BGG of them in a sheet. It's been so long since we punched it out, but I'm pretty sure it did.
Okay.
The other thing is this version of the game is very large. So it's not travel friendly. We don't travel much, so it doesn't bother us because we like the production value that it is.
But how light it is, it's something that you probably would want to travel with.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to explain.
Right. So there is a Asian version. I don't remember if it was Japanese, Korean. I don't exactly remember. It has a cloth board. Well, I guess at that point it's not a board.
Yeah.
A mat, whatever.
Yeah, cloth mat.
And so it's very portable and small. So you can take it with you. I think that's everything we don't like. So who is this for?
Everyone!
Honestly, I think everyone should play this game. I mean, except maybe really, really young kids. But even then,
this is them learning.
Kids growing up.
Yeah.
I'm not good with ages, but I'm assuming there's a certain point where if they haven't learned their numbers or how to do math, then that would be a no-go.
Yeah, but sometimes even when they're learning math.
Yes, when they're learning math.
A way for them to learn. And also teach parents how probabilities work.
That's true. It's true. It's just so light. It's just so easy to teach. It's just a good game for anybody to try at least once to play.
Yeah.
The expansion, on the other hand, is not for everyone.
No, that's just wild craziness for those times you really want to mix it up and you're like, I do want to play with Can't Stop, but I want more stuff happening. That's what that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of extra work to go out of your way to get it.
Yeah.
To set it up.
And
to figure out how it even works when you're playing it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not surprised there is no digital implementation of it, mostly because I'm assuming of the infinite loops.
Yeah.
I assume it'd be really hard to program all the crazy rules for the expansion and how an AI or the computer is supposed to handle an infinite loop. So sad that we can't say you can try the expansion before you try to track it down. But the base game you can try.
Yeah.
All right, our ratings.
So for our ratings, we each have 1d6 worth of ratings to give. 1 is low, 6 is high. We give a number, a reason why, add them together, and see what it rolled for us. Sarah, what did Can't Stop roll for you?
It rolled a 5. I mean, this game is probably near perfection. I think the only reason it's not a 6 is it's just not always a game I'm going to be interested in. I mean, it's because it's so light, because it's so casual. It's just there's times I'm going to want to play a heavier, thinkier game. But for almost every other instance, if someone suggests, let's play Can't Stop, I'm up for it, especially because we can play it online. I love that aspect. That's actually how we play it most often lately. In fact, getting this to the table for this review was the first time we played our physical version in several years.
Yeah, because
I had to dust the cover off.
Yeah.
Because it had gotten dust on it. So, and I also will say I do prefer it online because then I don't have to move all the pieces around for both of us. Because I can get a little confused with the white cones, my pieces, his pieces for the physical version. So playing it online does make it a little less cognitive load for me, because the reason we usually play this is I want a light experience. So there you go.
Yeah. I was going to give it a 4, but I think you talked me up to a 5. It's because this game is such a go-to game when you don't feel strongly about anything.
Yeah.
This is such an easy game to pick up and play. And it's also nice that this version does have a crazy option for when you're willing to put in that little bit of extra effort to have a wild, crazy experience. And knowing that also helps that the crazy experience is coming, because I could see sometimes playing, it's like, I don't want that wild weirdness. I want just a basic probability press your luck game, which is what the base game is.
Because sometimes you want vanilla ice cream, and sometimes you want Rocky Road. So
and sometimes you want it glowing in the dark.
Sure.
And that's what the expansion really gives. Glowing in the dark ice cream.
Okay.
Yes. So 10 out of 12. Fantastic score for a very basic game.
But the thing is, sometimes you need that. And it's one of those games that it should be in everybody's library, in physical or digital library.
Yeah.
It's just...
Have it up your sleeve.
Right. Because it's always a good... It's not always. It's always a good option.
Yeah.
It just may not be one you choose.
Right. Especially if you don't know what you want to choose.
Yes.
Well, let's play this while we figure out what we want to choose.
Exactly.
Play it and you're fine.
Yep.
All right, Sarah.
Yes.
So we talked about how like the expansion is such a hit or miss, even for us.
Yeah.
Do you think that has a lot to do with the fact that Sid Sackson has nothing to do with the expansion?
Probably. The expansion is designed by 2 other folks. I have no idea what their design goals were with the game.
But that's why we probably have such a mixed bag, because it contradicts probably a lot of what Sid Sackson designed versus what they chose. So how do you feel about people coming, well, since Sid Sackson's not with us, but posthumously after a game's out?
Well, even then, there have been other games where the original designer, for whatever reason, doesn't continue with it, or God, I almost had a thought. Tapestry.
Yeah.
So this wasn't that the designer didn't continue, is that a fan
came up with a cool
idea. I feel like Robinson Crusoe also had the same thing.
Yeah, where
a fan came up with a really cool expansion, went through all the play testing and all that, and the publisher liked it so much that they made it. Those are the type of ones that I think are really cool because it gets the community involved. I mean, I'm not saying all fans out there should, try to redesign someone's game.
Right.
But there's also...
why not? I mean, you could share it.
That's true. Well, I mean... There's not a lot of difference between house rules versus making expansion content. I mean, it is a big difference. You're putting in a lot more work. We've also seen where somebody comes on for an expansion. So
Heck,
it was...
We did with Dice of Dragons.
With Dice of Dragons, the original designer did his thing, and we came in to help with little expansion modules. And we did that with Adventure Tactics.
Yes.
So we designed a little scenario for that. So I think it's great. I mean, I think that was your original question.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic because sometimes you need outside perspectives or more perspectives to have a more well-rounded product.
Yeah, because I definitely say playing this game vanilla versus playing with the expansion does give completely different game experiences.
Very
different. And it widens the play base.
Yes, it does. So that's actually it. I mean, just having more content, having more people looking at it, seeing new perspectives.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. I think it's great. Yep.
All right. And that'll do it for us. And we've been
Rolling with Reviews.
If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can reach out to us on the various social media platforms at
Rolling with 2, that's TWO. We're on Blue Sky, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For Discord, we have a channel on Tabletop Express. Check the show notes for the invite link.
If you have time, check out the other content Nanaman has found for you, because remember, he's rolling with you.